to shorten you up on the sides, and what about the top?
I want it like I've always put it up in the front.
A little in the front, and
yeah,
the top
you
want short like the sides?
The side's shorter than the top.
Okay, then we'll do some scissor work on it, okay? And then we'll set you up real good, all right?
Okay.
You have too much hair for your face. You have a small face.
You
got a lot of hair in it, you know?
Exactly. Oh, like I'm flat.
Well, that's part of it. Is get a haircut, man.
That's why I'm here.
Awesome.
You know?
So, are you and your brother gonna get the swine flu shot? Swine flu shot. Like I heard.
No, I'm not going to get that. I didn't get the other one either.
What
I didn't
other
get the
one?
regular flu shot either. So, I feel like I'm lucky without it. I figure if everybody around me gets it, they will not be contagious and I won't get it from them. So maybe I'll get lucky again. But there's a lot of people that are getting it, and there's a lot of pros and cons on it. And so, hey, whatever floats your boat. Everybody likes to do certain things.
You got nice hair. Thank you. You got nice hair. If somebody gets it, it cuts it, and doesn't know what to do with it. You're going to look bad for quite a while. I have a kid that went to Boston, Michael.
All right.
And he's here once a month. He gets a short haircut. And he got his first haircut in Boston a couple of weeks ago. And he went into a beauty parlor. The kid, his brother said he was screaming how bad the work was.
Oh my God.
So now he'll be home for Thanksgiving, and he'll come in for his haircut.
Well, that's
But
good.
he will not, you rest assured, I know this kid, he will not get a haircut in Boston. He will wait till he comes home.
Yeah. I think that might be my best bet too once I go to college.
Yeah, we go this way.
So yeah, I'll be going away to college. I don't know where yet, but I'm applying to a bunch of different places. But what should I look for in like a new barber?
Yeah, looks good, Roz.
A barber shop, not a beauty parlor.
Of course. What should I look for in a new barber?
A guy who's my age, a guy who can give you a haircut in layers, a guy that's got a lot of experience. You get into the younger guys, they're gonna hit you with a machine.
I don't want that.
Because that's what they're trained for.
I had another girl
Most of them are trained for women.
She had it done
They take
with
the
that,
men because it's bread and butter for them when they walk in the door. But
Yeah.
in reality, they're not trained for what I do. I'm trained for both. I'm trained for men and for women. My first love was men's haircut. I've done that for the last 50 years. So you're going to get a hold of somebody who's in this profession, who's going to have a shop, probably have a beautiful place. You're going to walk in, and he's going to give you what he was trained to do. And he was trained to do women's haircuts.
Well, that's not what I want.
That's what you're going to wind up with. Or either that, or if you ask for short, the first thing they do is pull out one of these machines with all these clippers on.
So since I'm going away to college soon anyway, like talking about college anyway, like what other advice do you have for someone like me going to college?
Watch what kind of friends you make.
True. Well, could you like explain on that a little bit?
You mean if you're going to have a roommate or something like that?
Yeah.
Or, listen, you're going to have all kinds of people going to college. All different people from different parts of the country, or different parts of the vicinity of Connecticut, New York, etc., wherever you're going to go. You just got to watch. You got to use your own head. You be a leader, not a follower.
So my dad started letting me scratch off the lotto tickets, and we were thinking, what would you guys do? What would you and your brother do if you won $500 million in the lotto?
Well, call my accountant first. That's the first thing I'd call. But then, we'd sit down and map it out and see what we're going to do.
The logical approach.
Logical, he'd probably quit working. I like working. I like to work on people. So he would be out of here before the dust settles. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be back in enough time to continue working on people. I just like the daily routine and getting up and going someplace. After I'd had a little fun, of course. A little extra fun, I might say.
How about you, Ray? What would you do
$5
with
million,
the money?
I can think of a lot of places to go.
$500 million.
$500 million. Better yet, I can think of a lot more places to go than the shop. Plenty of places.
He only gets 20% though.
20%, I'll take it. What do you think, I'm gonna be greedy? 20%. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a big dream. Take care of the family, of course. financially,
All right.
and then just coast.
I also have another question, by the way. I know that like my grandpa and Tony play tennis a lot.
Uh-huh.
So who do you think is the best tennis player in Florida?
Now, I'm in the presence of my brother, you see.
I know, but
I don't know how your grandfather plays. I don't know how your grandfather. I never saw them. I hear them all bragging a lot of how great they are, but I haven't been there to see this greatness. So I really can't give you a straight answer on that. I know my brother's. a
Actually,
good
Max
tennis
is an
player.
A player. Max is one of the top players in Fairlawn. Max is really good. He brags a lot to himself, but he's a good man. I like him, and he works out what he does. He exercises, he walks a lot, and I know that he plays a lot of tennis. Of course, I don't play as much tennis as he does. He plays 3-4 times a week. I'll probably be in the A game, too, most of the time if I played with him. Max always thinks that I hit to the same spot all the time. But I change up on him. I go away from him because he's a backhand guy. No, actually not a backhand guy. He's a lefty. So I go behind him sometime.
Have you guys watched the Balloon Boy story about the boy that was supposedly in a balloon, but he wasn't in
I
it?
think that's a hoax. I think his father trumped up all that stuff. But it was a nice balloon. I gotta say, it looked like a pretty good thing.
turned out it was a hoax, though. Like,
I knew it was a scam from the day I saw it.
It was horrible.
Definitely a
even in the balloon.
scam.
I think it's just crazy how the entire country was united with that.
Well,
Like,
you have older people saw a little boy. Oh, the little boy's in a balloon. They glued themselves to the TV. They all thinking of it as their grandchild.
yeah, but
So he had the people watching it.
Well,
But I knew right from the beginning. I said to my wife, I said, nah, that thing could never hold a kid
I
that
think
weight.
that-
I mean, look at that thing. It would have pulled it out of a junkyard,
media,
right?
I think the media is gullible to this stuff. Anything to get something on TV, that hasn't been around. Sometimes they run slow and they need something and they pump it all up. So they work this until they can't work it, until the next thing comes along.
What do you think if someone made a show about two barbers in a small town in New Jersey cutting TV?
Aren't we doing that now?
Do you think if it was on TV, you think people would tune in and watch it? Think it would be popular? I think it would be popular.
I think it'd be great.
I think for a little bit it would be, until we run out of material.
You can never run out of material.
Look, let me tell you something. We're walking down the street over here. There's a street fair over here in town.
Yeah.
And they were all politicians out there. There was nobody talking to the politicians. We were the politicians out there, my brother and I. They were talking to us. Everybody was stopping to talk to us. And they want to know what's going on with these politicians.
We weren't carrying no
all these
banners
signs.
Yeah. Well, speaking of TV, like, I know a lot of people that are starting to think like TV is just becoming too racy or too pornographic. Like, what's your opinion on that?
My opinion is, I don't think so. I think there's not enough good stuff on TV. That much I could tell you. There's a lot of shows that you could be flipping 400 stations and find nothing. There's some old good movies on, but a lot of stuff is just garbage.
Well, what's your opinion on reality TV also?
I don't like them. I don't care.
I think it's just
I think
garbage,
that's all
honestly.
garbage. It's the only thing they have now.
Yeah.
And every channel you put on is some sort of reality show. They make celebrities out of these people that never had anything, and then they see what's going on with that couple that are fighting now with their 8 kids. I mean, they're both idiots as far as I'm concerned, and they're making a fortune because she had 8 children.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And think about
They're
this.
going to be broke in 6 months.
And also think about this. The channel that has the most reality TV is MTV, which stands for Music Television. It started from music, and it's
Yeah.
all reality TV now. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. Well, they're going to go with the audience, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, if the music is not doing it, the reality shows are, that's where they're going to go. That's where their bread and butter is.
At least change their acronym. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, listen, who says they're rocket scientists that are running these shows anyhow?
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Tony, what do you think about those HBO shows?
Which ones you talking about?
Like Hung, Curb
Hung?
Your Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
My opinion is that sex sells. You see a beautiful woman standing by a car. Are we looking at the car? Or are we looking at the woman? I mean, why is a guy sitting there trying to sell this car? But so you know what? Women can move products better than guys. And you know what? Like I said, sex sells. Sometimes I wonder if they're selling the jeans or the girl inside the jeans. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's a truth. It's a truth if you stop and think about it.
Speaking about women, a lot of girls in my school, like, wear kind of racy clothing, I guess. Like, have you seen what these girls are wearing in high school? It's crazy.
I think it's just to get attention. I think that's got to stop before they leave the door in the morning. Sometimes you got the mother wears the same clothes that the daughter's wearing
that's
the
just
next
ridiculous.
day. So when you call in the mother to complain about the child, the mother walks in with the same skirt that the daughter had on 2 days ago. And she says, "What's the problem?" He said, "Evidently nothing."
Neil,
I mean, in my school, there's some teachers that go crazy about it. Like, they complain about these kids all the time, and then there are other teachers that just don't even care about it because it's just become so much a part of our
Listen, the
culture.
majority of the parents in their mid-30s and 40s early, the women never want to get old. All right? They want to be young. They want to stay in the limelight. My wife was in the teaching in a school, and the girls would come in with the short skirts and everything, and they would catch them by the door. So listen, you either go home and change, or you put on a pair of sweats in the locker room. So again, I bring that story back, where when the mother comes in,
Maybe a little less.
she has a short skirt on. She's 36 years old. The daughter's 16, 17 years old. And the bottom line is, where's the problem? She doesn't see it. She doesn't see what you see.
Exactly.
When a kid like that comes to school, and you got 16 and 17-year-old guys staring at her, and she's half naked, you know?
Yeah.
So you're looking for trouble. You're looking for trouble.
Tony, what do you think about the clothes in town? High school kids, the way they dress.
You know, I have to say this. You know, a few years back, I was living in town, and I had to pass the high school on the way to work. I came up near the football field, and I passed the high school every morning. You get kids out there, they were dressed beautifully. Then you get kids like you think they slept in their cars, and then you get children out there that are 17, 18. You think they were hobos the way they dressed. You know what I'm saying? Like they need a bath. So there's a big cycle on what's going on with clothing. Some kids really care, other kids don't care. I would say the girls care more about what they look. Although I've seen some, disheveled-looking girls walking the streets. I guess maybe that's the trend. Who knows?
Right.
You know, it could be the trend.
I think it starts at home. It's got to start in the house.
Yeah.
Parents have got to take more control. They're into themselves. They're worried about making a living. The people are working double jobs. They got kids at home. Kids are mostly living on their own, and it's a tough generation.
Yeah. Well, speaking of jobs, like, I know a lot of my friends are looking for part-time jobs while they're in school now, because, like, honestly, we're teenagers. We need money to, like, function. Honestly, how are we supposed to get that money? Do you think it's even possible for someone my age to find a job in this economic crisis?
It's tough now. You know, the only things that are the jobs that are available are the quick food places, and those are taken. You go to the McDonald's or any of the stores. You have a majority of the kids from Patterson are taking all those jobs.
Yeah.
They work in graveyard shifts. They're working at night. They work at all kinds of hours. The problem with your generation and the kids of Fairlawn and all that, a little high end, they never needed the money before.
Exactly.
All of a sudden now they're looking for jobs that the Spanish kid or the black kid wants because he needs the money. He's coming from Patterson on his bicycle for the job. You're driving, oh, it's raining out, your mother's going to drive you, you know? So there's a problem with the jobs. You're not going to get those jobs. They're impossible. And you go into the clothing stores or the malls, they're hurting. They're cutting back as much as they can. There are people your mother's age are going for part-time jobs to help pay the mortgage of the house. So they're going into the clothing stores and pulling stuff out of boxes and putting them on the racks. So those jobs are not available where they were available for a kid. Now they're not anymore.
Do you guys have someone that's like sweeps up the hair in here?
Yeah, you're looking at them.
Yeah, we do everything.
I was wondering, since I never asked you guys this before, do you cut each other's hair?
Yes, we do. Matter of fact, we do.
All right. I always wanted to know that.
That's why we look so good all the time.
Oh, of course.
About every 2 weeks.
Why is it called the World Series if it's only teams from America and Canada?
I don't know, maybe it's
Question.
originated here. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
It's more originated here, and I think it's cool that if you branch it out too far, you got a situation where you never get finished. We're going to be playing the World Series in November.
Do you think it would have been better if Tories with the LA came in? To
you
New
know
York?
what? It's something that you said. I was kind of hoping for that because Joe
Yeah, I
Torre
was
was the
hoping for that
Yankee
too.
manager,
Yeah.
and you got the brand new stadium, and you got the manager for the Dodgers used to be the manager of the Yankees, and I think it would have been really a bigger time than we're going to have. Although it's in the city, it's money that's going to
local.
be in the
Teams
city.
are
It's
local.
local, so that's a good thing. I think the TV rights will be big.
What do you think, Ray? You think it's going to be good for the city having the series?
Absolutely. Philadelphia and New York, they said they could drive up, back and forth. I think it's great for the area financially.
Ray, what do you think this morning? I went on eBay. They want $25,000 for 4 tickets for the grandstands.
Crazy.
You got that kind of money to spend?
Can you get those? Can you buy the tickets?
Gotta be insane.
There'll be somebody to buy them.
I think so, Tony.
Yeah, there'll be somebody to buy them.
I think these guys are all overpaid,
I
personally.
think it's insane, but I'm sure that somebody will buy them.
All overpaid. Some guy, how's he?
But I think if
Sitting on the
people, I
bench,
think
he's
if
making
people have
$2 million
tickets,
that
they
he's
already
playing
have the
game.
tickets. There are people
Right.
that are in the know that got tickets already yesterday when they put them out
Okay.
for grabs.
So Ray, I have one more question for you. So my mom has been talking about how she wants to get a tattoo now, and I just don't know. It's like that's kind of weird, honestly. What's your opinion on it?
My opinion is no.
All right.
I disagree with it. She shouldn't get a tattoo. She shouldn't get a tattoo because it does haunt the woman later in life. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think they look great to a degree. I don't know. I see them walking down the street. I see some beautiful women walking down the street, and I see them with these tattoos. Kind of turns me off. It's a turn off for me personally.
I just don't like
I'm not,
tattoos.
I'm not impressed with a guy with 40 tattoos either. You know, he's got his arms.
Yeah.
You can't see what the hell he looks like anymore. I think it's out of hand. No, woman, no. Maybe a little strawberry in the right place is good, but not on the arms and the legs and this. You know, no.
How about the Yankees? I think one of the pitchers I saw had. Didn't the Yankee pitchers have tattoos across his arm?
Yeah, a lot of them, they have the bands and all that. Hey, listen, they've got muscles, they look great. Wait till they're 60, 70 years old and all those muscles start to fall down.
Tattoos start to
Yeah,
sag. when
yeah,
they're-
the tattoos start to sag. Yeah, then you're in trouble.
Thank you.
I never was fond of that.
Bye, Mom.
And for women, for young guys, for young girls, I was never happy to see body piercing. I mean, I don't even know why they do it. Maybe it's just a fad that they go through, especially the piercing on the face. You know, belly button piercing and other areas that you can't see. That's one thing. But now you see some.
But it's not like an ear.
Ear piercing. Well, if you're gonna wear an earring, that's okay. That's normal. Ear piercing is normal.
Even for a guy?
Even for a guy. That's
Tony, what would you say out of all the guys that come in here? 50% have earrings, 10%, 30%? What do you think?
maybe 10%.
10%?
Maybe.
So 1 out of every 10.
And we're not talking only young people. We're talking about, older people too.
Okay.
No more, I don't think it's popular.
It's not that popular, but, it's mostly for girls now for ear piercing. And,
A lot of guys are getting them.
well, it depends. It runs hot and cold. You know how it is? It could, a bunch of guys could be together, and all of a sudden one gets an ear piercing, and another guy gets a nose piercing, eyebrow piercing.
Yeah.
Depends on the group, and who's following who. But like I said, you got to use your own head. Well, that's not an unusual fact. That's a lot of it's going on. It depends on sometimes what goes on in the house. If you got the proper communication with your parents, where they can talk to you. I think if the parents stop trying to be friends with their children, and try to be more parenting and be upfront with them about life. And these kids, what you learned at 18, they learned in at 12 and 13. I think if the parents would be more parenting and stop worrying about going out with their girlfriends, even if you're parents, I think things might be a little better.
How many of your customers would you say still come back here after their parents start bringing them in to get their hair cut?
It depends on the age groups. Some of them get to college and they come home and they get their haircuts, and we reminisce about what's going on in college. And we have a lot of triple generation in here too, though. Grandfathers, sons, and daughters, and their sons come in, and it's a lot of them come in. I'm saying dozens upon dozens, but not just from Fairlawn. I'm talking from different areas around here, all over Bergen County, and further out a little bit too.
A lot of people say that they're hairdressers, they're real therapists. So do you find that when the kids come in there, they come in with their parents, they sort of ask you a lot of questions that sort of take you off guard? They want a different spin on life from...
Some of them, not all of them, though.
Tony, can you take off a lot of the puff in the back?
Yeah, I'm doing that now. What do you think about this side here? I think this is about where we should be.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not overdone, and
Yeah.
but you're not going to worry about your waves in this area. And when we get to the top and front, we'll discuss that again. Okay.
All right.
But you have a lot of curls that are going to be coming off here. It'll be a lot smoother, but you'll still have hair.
So, Tony, they usually confide in you if they want to, otherwise they just take a haircut and they don't
Yeah,
talk?
a lot of them do. Some of them
Yeah.
talk about the school, and some talk about their girlfriends and who broke up with who, and some guys are feeling bad, some girls are feeling bad.
I mean, have any of your customers ever come back to you and say, hey, Tony, last time I was here, you told me such and such and really helped me out? I mean, does that
Sometimes,
happen?
yeah, not that often. No, we don't try to get deep into things, but sort of my personal opinion. Take with it what you wish, and take out of it. You say 10 things. If there's one thing that helps you down the line, I do that with my own kids. I said, you know what? Let me say this. You may not like what I'm saying, but down the road, you may 6 months from now, 3 months from now, you might say, you know what? My father said something stuck in my head, and maybe I can use that. And this is the same way I try to teach. I don't teach, but I try to say certain things. It doesn't always work out, but and it's just so much you can say, especially to your own kids. Sometimes they take advantage. They don't take advantage of what you have to say, but if somebody else says it, it hits home to them.
Absolutely. Tony, a little history. When you had your store up near Petox, you used to have a picture of your dad in a vaudeville movie. Could you tell Jake a little bit about? I thought your dad had a fascinating story to tell.
I tell you, my father was in silent movies back then. But
This is what, the 1930s?
Yeah, and he was in Les Mis back then in the silent movies. And he's got, we did have a reel of it, but it got so old and we never really did anything. But when we really wanted to do something, it was really too late. The film was like stuck together, this heavy-duty type film that they used years ago in the theater. But he was making movies at the time up in Fort Lee. But
this was in the 1940s, 1930s?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. But when they started,
1920s.
when they started breaking in with the talkies, that outfit picked up and moved to California, and I don't know, maybe my father didn't feel like going, maybe didn't have the money to go, and that was that. But I'll tell you one thing: we saw a lot of movies when we were kids. We used to go to movies all the time, Broadway shows, movies. He was very large on that.
Did you ever have any aspirations to act in films too, you and your brother?
Not until now. Not really, We like to joke around and have fun, But we never took up an instrument. I couldn't play it. I tried to play the clarinet one time and it was disaster. I just didn't have the head for it. I guess I was more into sports at the time,
Tony, when you look at someone like Jake's haircut, and you look back in all the years past, does everything just come back? I mean, like the haircut you gave him now, is that a haircut that you would have given 20 years ago?
Maybe the sides.
Yeah.
The front and top, it was probably, either pushed back, parted, split in the middle. There was a lot of hair splitting in the middle back then, and side parts.
So it's like old clothes, it just comes back.
Well, it's just moving it around a little bit, getting things to set up the way they want it.
Do you have any idea what type of haircuts will be popular in 150 years from now? Do you think they'll still look like me and you and Jake?
I don't know. I have no idea what.
Isn't that a good question?
What's old today comes back,
Right.
What's new today comes back tomorrow as old, and it's just a number of...
I know that from my wife's clothes.
Never. That's right. You know what it does? Clothes come back, but it comes back in different material. Different lengths, this, that, and the other thing, But just like the neckties for the guys. One time they were 1 1/4 inch wide, then it's 4 inches wide.
You're right.
Years ago, we had a tailor in Lodi. We used to take the 4-inch ties and have him cut them down to make 1-inch ties for us.
Oh my God, maybe next time we shouldn't tell him to cut it so short.
Right into the camera. Okay, bend down. Okay, that's it. Do it again. Okay, ready? Let's go. When you walk back, I want you to go like this. Turn around. I want you to go like skip and jump. Why? No. Just try. Just one for me. Come on.